Well, today in this video, you are going to see me doing a speed test on this huge 26-inch dual motor e-bike from DUOTTS, and a huge shout out to them for sending me to review. Of course, everything in this video is completely my own opinion. We're going to do a speed test. I'm going to see if I can find a few hills. I'm also going to explain how to unlock the bike if you need to do that. Overall features I'm going to be explaining, and at the end of the video I'm going to be giving my overall verdict of this bike from DUOTTS. So taking the S26 out of the box is pretty easy. There is many videos already online on how to do this. Just take your time and you'll have no issues whatsoever. Just to take note, this video is broken down into a few different areas. The first test you will see is me using the accelerator only, doing a few hill tests and speed tests. And then in the second part of the video, I will be using my feet to see if we get more speed, to see if it's much better at climbing hills. Any questions, of course, always ask below. If I have any discount codes, I will also link them below. Do keep in mind as well that this bike has a range of up to 120 kilometers, and I also give you a range estimation as well at the end of the video, so do enjoy it. Okay, well, let's do a speed test on the S26. The bike is fully unlocked, and you can unlock this bike if you are in an area where it's not restricted, so I will show you later in the video on how to do that. But in the meantime, let me just stop here, put us onto dual motor, and let's see what speed we can group to. We are at a full charge. You simply press the dual motor switch or single motor switch on the left, wherever you want, and I'll talk about the whole bike in a few minutes. But the main thing is, what speed can the S26 go up to? We're going to compare it to the GPS readings here as well on my phone to see if it matches up. And voltage wise, you can actually go to the menu very quickly. Voltage wise, we are at 52.7 volts on this 48 volt Samsung battery. So let's go. I have everything pretty much maxed out on the bike. Torque, tiny slow start for like 1 or 2 seconds, then it gets up to speed very quickly. Dual motors. Okay, we're going 40 kilometers an hour, 43 kilometers an hour, 44 on the display, 45, 46, 47 on the display. And boy, this bike has some torque. 48, 49. Everything is accurate. GPS is matching up with the speed. We're still going faster. We need to get more of a stretch on the road here. Let's have a look. Wow, those 26-inch wheels are absorbing the bumps, no problem at all with that suspension. Let's go again. 46, 47 kilometers an hour. Headwind. We're also going up a bit of an incline here as well. Handling wise on this bike is actually very good. Let me see if I can get more of a road where it's more straight. But initial impressions very good. Brakes, oh, full hydraulic brakes, excellent. Of course, on a bike like this with this type of crazy power, it's absolutely nuts. It will take you a while to get used to 26-inch wheels because they are huge. Let's go again. Now let's see, this road is quite straight, quite level, so let me just get onto the level part here. Okay, let's go. Now let's see what we can get up to. Twist throttle as well is installed. I'm going to explain the twist throttle in a second. 45, 46, 47 on the display. 48, 49. We're still going, but I have to come to a stop now because I'm coming to the end of the road. Oh, we just about reached 50 kilometers an hour on a bike like this. Woo! Okay, that is more than fast enough than what you need on a bike like this. Bit of a hill here. Handling wise, you can go crazy off-road on a bike like this. Let's test out the suspension. Go down. Yeah, let me see. Zero start, incline here. Let's go. Yes, 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 of course. It can climb something like this. No problem at all. By the way, I'm not pedaling on this bike. I'm simply using the twist throttle. We can try a bit of, see what it's like performing on grass. Maybe go up one or two, oh yeah, inclines. You'd definitely have fun on a bike like this. Oh, suspension on the middle of this bike is absolutely fantastic. It is doing its job. Bike is very quiet indeed. Not too bad. Oh, oh. Yeah, you could definitely let this bike rip on an off-road trail. You could definitely have fun on something like this. Let me go around again. There is quite a steep part up here. So of course we're still on dual motors. Wide handlebars, very good stability on something like this. Okay, so the incline here to my left is actually very, very steep. So let me see if it can actually go up. We'll do a 0 start. Oh, can I go up? Can I go up? No, I can't go up because it's probably like, ooh, realistically, yeah, no, it's not going to go up that. Unless you get a run up. Realistically, that's probably, I don't know, it looks like 30 degrees to be honest, incline. Ooh, what can the handling be like? I'm on a slant here. But the tyres, the tyres are gripping very well here on an incline, dangerous incline like this on a bike. Okay, there we go. Let's get back up there. Yeah, much better. Yeah, I actually do like this. Can I get up this? Oh, no, I'm actually surprised. Let me see. Come on. I'm actually surprised the bike cannot get up that. But of course, I'm not getting a good enough run on something like that. So of course, that would be one of the reasons why. On gravel, it would perform quite well, I'd imagine. We have a gravel road here. Bumps, plenty of bumps. I don't have any off-road trails near me. But this bike is absorbing the bumps, no problem at all. Very quiet, really nice to see. On some bikes you hear a lot of banging coming from mud guards and stuff like that. But on this, they're actually not too bad. And yeah, once again, suspension is surprising me very, very well. I mean, it is so bouncy. Trying to bottom out the suspension is a bit... I cannot actually bottom out the suspension on this. That's actually a first bike where I was not able to bottom out its suspension. Normally if you really go like... No, not a hope. No, no. So suspension wise for off-roading, it's probably the best bike that I've had. I'll talk about the price in a couple of seconds. So we do have, of course, range of just up to 100 kilometer range on this bike. Of course, that depends how fast you're going. If you're using dual motor, if you're using single motor, of course, what gear you're on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 giving you the fastest assistance as well. So it depends on all those factors. But because it does have Samsung cells, which is nice, it's nice to see that. It would be more reliable than generic cells, so quite happy to see. It does also have a really nice detachable battery. So basically, overall, hill climbing would be generally no problem with this. But of course, if you're using your legs, you know, it would give you that bit more assistance. I was doing, of course, 0 start hill climbing, which is of course quite difficult on a 30-degree incline. But once you're using your feet, you should be able to go up there, no problem at all. Of course, you do have those fantastic 7 Shimano gears, wide handlebars. You have a USB charging area here if you want to charge your phone. Plus, you get multiple accessories with this bike, such as a phone cover, a waterproof phone cover. You also get a pump. You get a rear rack as well at the moment with this. So, suspension, comfortability, handling, speed on this bike is nuts. You've front lights, you've rear lights on this, you've quick release connectors for the front and in the rear motor. Okay, so this hill behind me here is really steep, so I'm going to try and go up it first in single mode pedaling, and then I'm going to try dual mode pedaling on assist 1. So let's do it. That was assist mode 1 on just the single motor, so if you get a run you'll actually have no problem. Let's do dual motor for the sake of the video, but of course again this won't be an issue. Just for reference, I have done 20 kilometers on this bike, going really hard, dual, single, climbing a few inclines, and the voltage at the moment on the bike is 48 volts, which is actually really good considering how hard I've been going with the bike. It has literally zero issues with the suspension. No noise coming from the bike. The front mudguard kind of slaps a little bit, but apart from that, it's an excellent dual motor bike. Okay, so test number 2. I'm going to use my feet this time, and let's see if there's much of an improvement of torque on this S26. So let me just... Okay, whoa, torque is... Of course, using your feet, you get so much more of a push. Let's see what top speed we can go up to. Good bit of headwind here, but oh my god, this bike has some power. It's probably the torquiest dual motor e-bike that I've ever had. Whoa, 52 kilometers an hour. Let me see if I can get onto a road that has less wind. 54. I'm not sure if you can hear me because of the speed I'm going on this. Absolutely crazy speed. 54, 55, 56 kilometers an hour. Whoa. 56 kilometers an hour, and as I'm pedaling, the battery is at 46 volts and it's still outputting. Whoa. Now that is what I call power from a 130 Newton meter e-bike. Let's see what it's like going up a few steep inclines, but the good thing as well, there is no ghost pedaling on this bike. So I'm on the 7th Shimano gear, but I'm assisting the motor compared to some other e-bikes, like for example from the Lankalesi range. Suspension, of course, is really good. The bike is so comfortable. Yes, it's big, but if you want to get somewhere fast, definitely this is the bike. I cannot believe the price of this S26, and by the way, any discount codes I have I will leave down below. I'll try my best to always get discounts. Let me see for a second. Oh, yeah, definitely pedaling is more fun because the bike has a crazy torque. Okay, so for example, the best way to actually do this, let me pop this onto gear 1. By the way, you get this actually waterproof phone cover, phone case with the bike, plus you get a pump, plus you get a fast charger. Whoa, plus you get a fast charger. Yeah, kind of has the whole package, to be honest, even if you're a delivery driver. Okay, we're only on gear 1. Assistance, look at that. I'm hardly, whoa. Yeah, so if you want to go up a few hills, compared to, of course, using throttle only, just use your feet. And that's only on gear 1. That is nuts. That is crazy. Like gear 1 assist while pedaling gives you 22 kilometers an hour. But I am on dual motor, so let me just switch this on to single motor. Okay, so can single motor get us up a few inclines? So let me just see, for example. Okay, so we can't climb this area with just acceleration only, so let me see if we can get up using just our legs on gear 1 single motor. Okay, I'm pedaling. Okay, so acceleration only, going really steep. Won't really get you up there unless you get a run up. But if you're using your feet, like what I just done, you definitely 100% can. So, yeah, you'll have an absolute blast. I would recommend this bike hands down if you want something you can go nuts on. Okay, this is a really steep bank. Can't get up this on acceleration only. Let me pedal it. Gear 1, assist, single motor. Ooh, not really. Let me see if I can get a better angle, because that was a bit tricky. Let me just turn around again. This is around, has to be over 20%. Can't see it on camera, but trust me, it is. So let me see, can we get up this on single motor only? No, because we're on single motor. Okay, okay, now we're on dual motor. Let me see, can I get up it? Whoa, a dual motor is like crazy. Okay, suspension is not even bottoming out. We should be able to get up this on dual motor. Remember, we're only on assist 1. So let me just try it again. Okay. Yes, of course. Look, piece of cake. Let me try assist mode 5 on single motor. Okay, we're back on single motor. Let's try one more time. Just while I'm here. Can we get up this? Let's try and come to a bit of a stop. Okay, assist 5. Oh, yeah, okay, we just about got up there. So, cut long story short, for really steep areas, use just dual motor with your feet. For okay inclines, single motor should be able to do the job. But if you look at the torque, as soon as I put that onto dual motor, and as soon as I start to pedal, the bike has, you can see me, just my body, just completely pulling back, gravel everywhere, terrible conditions, but the suspension is just doing a phenomenal job. So let's talk about the overall specs of this. Now, as you can see, performing hills would generally not be a problem with this if you're of course using your feet as well, if they're very, very steep inclines, if you happen to be on zero start. It does have 65 newton meters of torque in the front and in the rear, giving you 130 newton meters of torque, which means taking this for off-roading, you'll have an absolute blast on a bike like this. I'm going to talk about the value of this in a few minutes, but stick with me. You also get a 48 volt removable battery right here. You do get 2 keys with this bike as well, so if you need to lock it up, best thing to do would be to take off the battery. It'll only take you a couple of seconds for added peace of mind. So let's talk about safety aspect. Okay, you have front hydraulic brakes and rear hydraulic brakes on this bike, giving you phenomenal stopping power, and they are a DUOTTS branded, but they look almost identical to they're called, I think, Disneyland hydraulic calipers. So they look basically identical to that, but they do a great job. Plus you also have 180mm disc rotors on this. So from a stopping aspect, no problem at all. You also have a big huge front light here, and in the back you also have a rear light as well. So again, quite visible at night time. Another thing as well about this bike is that the handlebars are absolutely gigantic on this. On some bikes, or on some scooters for that reason, they can be quite narrow. So when you're going high speeds, they can be unstable. But as well, this bike weighs, now you do have to keep this in mind, a whopping 39 kilograms net weight. So if you have to carry this up and down a few flights of stairs every day, it's gonna pretty much break your back, to be honest, unless you're very, very fit and able to do that quite regularly. So you need to keep in mind it is heavy, and it might not look big on camera here, but this is big with this mountain style bike frame with these huge 26 by 4 inch fat tires. To be honest, I like 20-inch tires on e-bikes, but on this, because it's dual motor and you can take it off road having a good bit of traction there, you know, I will make an exception in this case. Now, from a comfort standpoint on an e-bike like this, you have really huge forks up here. I cannot bottom out this bike. On most e-bikes, if you really go nuts, you can bottom out the suspension. But I'm having trouble doing that on this, which is a great problem to have. It means again, you can go nuts off-road, plus that midpoint suspension is designed absolutely fantastic. So you have suspension all around with those huge tires. Comfort aspect is great, and the saddle is very comfortable on the S26. But let's talk about something important. Speed unlocking the S26. This will only take you a few seconds. And disclaimer here, you can only do this if you live in countries where there is no restrictions whatsoever. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's just explain the handlebar area first of all. You have your lights here, on, lights off. You also have, of course, your dual motor switch here. And then you have your horn, which is quite decent. To turn on the bike, you simply hold down, of course, the on button. Pretty nice display, don't mind the flickering, that's just because of my camera. And it's actually quite bright as well. There is a complete P settings walkthrough, multiple P settings walkthrough on the internet already. If you want to change some settings, you can change it to like a boost mode, which is, I think from what I remember, P12 setting. And it means the bike will give you more kick off the line. I have everything maxed out on this bike. Now, let's get to the most important thing. To simply speed unlock, you hold down the plus and minus keys. You will come to the parameters menu and you simply press the power button until you get to P8. Okay, when you get to P8, if your bike is restricted, it will actually have the values on the bottom here to be 25. Simply go all the way up to 67. Don't do anything. Let it come back to the main menu, and then the bike is basically unlocked to the max speed. As you saw in my case, with a bit of headwind, I got 50 kilometers an hour. That is the bike unlocked. Of course, do the reverse if you want to put back to the factory defaults, but again, only do this if your country allows it. Now, another thing that you have to keep in mind is the twist throttle. With this bike out of the box, you get a twist throttle. And of course, let me just bring it around here. It's very easy to install, pretty much standard twist throttle. Okay, and then of course you have this part of the handle here. There's your 7 Shimano gears, of course. And you connect your twist throttle with this cable with the quick connectors here. If your country allows for twist throttles, install it. If it doesn't allow for twist throttles, don't install it. And of course, keep the standard grip there. Of course, if you don't have the twist throttle on this bike, it means that of course you can only use your feet in that case, and again you will be restricting yourself from a little bit of speed and a little bit more assistance climbing hills. Okay, so just keep kind of everything what I said in mind. You do have, of course, this rack that did come with this bike. I think they're giving them as a free gift at the moment. You have that fantastic, just take a look at that, fantastic design suspension on this bike. Really do like it. Of course, these are huge wheels, and there's those really nice calipers with those 180mm disc rotors. Again, very nice. You of course have your pedals here. They are not collapsible pedals. And of course, from what I can see, your controller and everything is based in this area. Cable management overall is actually quite neat on this bike, not messy at all, with that mountain style, I guess you could say, bike frame. And of course, just take a look at the size of the light here. Really nice light. Again, very easy to install. Only one thing that I don't like about this DUOTTS is have a look at the mud guards. If you take this off-road on a rainy day, it only covers this portion here. So mud will be splashing on your clothes as you are riding. And the front mud guard is not as bad, but the back mud guard is more of a concern. So I wish that was somehow you could be able to do that, but you might be able to buy a generic mudguard, because there is actually a point here where you could secure one. So yeah, you could actually probably easily fix that if you do a bit of research. That's the only thing that I kind of notice about this bike. So comfort aspect, excellent. Speed, performance, absolutely phenomenal. Let's talk about the value. Okay, I've reviewed the Lankalesi X3000 Max a good while back. That bike, from what I remember, was around 2,500, almost €3,000. Basically had the same specs as this, but it didn't have a convenience factor removable battery like this because it was built into the frame. You have to slide it out, which is a bit of a hassle, to be honest, and you have to fold the bike. Okay, this bike is not foldable, but the golden thing is that you can actually just take out your battery. So that would be probably one of the best selling points about this as well. Suspension is much better on this than the Lankalesi X3000 Max model. Overall, value wise, at the time of recording this video, it's around €1,500 or less. So think about what you're getting. You're getting an e-bike that is comfortable, crazy fast, fantastic stability. It has really good lights. It has very good braking, huge disc rotors, the ability, of course, to take it off-road, the ability to take out the battery in a matter of seconds. You, of course, have an adjustable saddle. You have a rear rack that comes with it as well. Overall value, do I think it's worth the money comparing to the X3000 Max that I reviewed quite a while back? I think it's 100% worth the value. Plus, you have that 130 Newton meters of torque. And again, you can use your feet. So if the battery goes dead on a bike like this, you can just cycle it as a normal bike to get you home. And remember, this bike as well has quick release connectors in the front and in the rear wheel, which means if you get a puncture or of course would need to change your tires at some point, quickly release them, change it and pop it back on. So it's worth absolutely every penny that they are asking. It's linked below with a discount code. So in the meantime, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.